Yeah. It's 10 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started. Good morning. My name is Anthony Todd Carter. I'm with the Alabama Department of Environmental Management, and I'm the designated hearing officer for this hearing. I'd like to welcome each of you to the hearing today. The subject of this hearing is the proposed revisions to the ATM Administrative Code Division 335-6. Notice of the time, date, and place and purpose of this hearing was published in the Birmingham News, the Huntsville Times, the Mobile Press Register, and the Montgomery Advertiser on September the 20th, 2020. Copies of the certifications of these publications are submitted for the hearing record as Exhibits C1 and through C4. On September the 21st, 2020, the Department also caused the same notice to be sent to 2,289 individuals and organizations requesting advance notice of rulemaking. A listing of the individuals as organizations notified will be entered into the hearing record as Exhibit C5. One original copy of the proposed rules was filed with the Administrative Procedure Division of the Legislative Services Agency, and 10 copies were furnished to the Joint Committee on Administrative Regulation Review on September the 21st, 2020. A copy of the notice was also published in the Alabama Administrative Monthly, Volume 38, Issue 12, on September 30th, 2020. These facts are attested to by Agni Latham, Director of the Legislative Services Agency, by affidavit which is submitted for the hearing record as Exhibit C6. Copies of the proposed rules have been available for inspection by the public at ADM field offices in Birmingham, Mobile, and Decatur, as well as the ADM offices here in Montgomery. The proposed regulation changes have also been available on the ADM internet site at adm.alabama.gov. A copy of the proposed rules is submitted for the hearing record as Exhibit B1. A copy of the summary of reasons supporting adoption of rules is submitted for the hearing record as Exhibit B2. The Department has given public notice of these rulemaking proceedings. To date, 3 written comments have been received. This hearing is being conducted to provide the public an opportunity to present data, views, questions, and arguments on the proposed rules. It is open to the public, and anyone wishing to present oral testimony or a written statement may do so. Persons who have not previously advised the hearing officer of their intent to give oral testimony should complete a registration card and present it to the representative at the table outside. All verbal and written comments received today and during the public notice period will become part of the hearing record. The information in the record will be used in evaluating the proposed rules. Lengthy statements containing considerable technical or other significant data should be submitted for the record in writing. Summaries of such statements may be considered orally. All testimony and written statements should be as factual as possible and should address the subject of this hearing. This hearing is not intended as a question and answer session, and persons giving testimony will not be subject to questioning by the public. They may, however, be questioned by the hearing officer or any other representative of the Department of Environmental Management to clarify points and to develop a better understanding of the information being presented. We will now proceed to the principal purpose of today's hearing, and that's the receipt of public comments. I would ask that each person making a statement please step to the podium, state your name and any interest or organization that you represent. The hearing is being recorded by a court reporter, and a transcript will be included in the public record. The order of appearances for persons giving oral testimony will be as follows. First, any public officials that may be present. Then, members of the public in the order of which they filed registration cards to give oral testimony. Do we have any public officials with us today who wish to give comments? Not seeing any, now we'll call on members of the public in the order in which they filed registration cards to give oral testimony. I would ask that each person making a statement, please step to the podium, state your name and any interest or organization that you represent. Okay, according to the card I have today, Mr. Campbell, William Campbell. Mr. Campbell, I see you filled out 2 cards, and I think you're here representing yourself personally and as for Lake Watch, Lake Martin. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay.
First thing I'd like to do, excuse me, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so when you begin, I'm going to, since you're representing 2, I'm going to give you probably 10 minutes or so.
Long enough time.
Okay, and then, if you would, I don't know if you want to break that up and say, this portion's for myself and this portion's for Lake Watch, but it's all really related, but I'll let you.
If I may, I'm gonna hand you 2 letters, one from Lake Watch dated November the 2nd, and one from myself dated November the 3rd. I want to be sure they get into the record.
Absolutely.
They were sent already in by email, so
Yes, sir.
Scott told me y'all had them already, but that's a duplicate if you
And I will
please.
tell you, I have playmates on it.
Good.
They will be in the record.
I believe that I'm going to speak on behalf of Lake Watch, and that'll cover what I had to say as an individual. I have also been, happen to have an unfortunate background of being a lawyer, and that stays with you. When you read text of the amendment, I've been disturbed personally about what seems to be the brevity of it and the need for more comprehensive address of the changes, particularly as they relate to CAFOs and our concern about surface application of poultry litter that in storm conditions can run off into the waters of the state. That's the kind of specific point that I'm concerned about, is that runoff and pollution of the state waters from poultry. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Matt Campbell. I'm a resident of Tallapoosa County. I swim in Lake Martin. I wade and swim in the Tallapoosa River and in Lake Martin, and in a little creek called the Muckfall Creek. I don't wade a whole lot in the Muckfall Creek because it's for several years been on the 303D list, but they still something that I do go canoeing on. My drinking water comes from Alexander City Waterworks, drawn from the Tallapoosa River. I'm a member and a director of Lake Watch of Lake Martin, which is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation. Lake Watch and I are citizen clean water advocates. I have delivered a letter to the department, and right now, ladies, if you all, and gentlemen, if you all bear with me, I simply want to read this letter because that's hopefully more succinct than a rambling statement by me. So this is the Lake Watch letter addressed to ADEM, and I want all you to hear it. It's directed to ADEM, Director LaFleur, Mr. Hughes, and Mr. Hulcher. I'll preface the comments and concerns below. This is submitted on behalf of Lake Watch under the signature of Eric Ruderbach. Again, I'm a director and authorized to file this letter on their behalf and speak to y'all today. I preface the comments and concerns below by stating that we wish to continue to work cooperatively with ADEM in its mission to protect the land, air, and waters of Alabama. We hope our comments will aid and strengthen ADEM's ability to fulfill its mission. Lake Watch of Lake Martin opposes the ADEM proposed amendment to Rule 335-67.11 as written to allow AFO and CFO facilities to apply for alternate non-NPDES state permit coverage. Upon analysis of the proposed amendment as written, we firmly believe that the text can and should be strengthened. We advocate the following inclusions and changes in the proposed amendment. Number one, given that ADEM has created Treasured Alabama Lake designation and established Lake Martin as the first and only TAL, Treasured Alabama Lake, in the state, affording the lake with more stringent protections against pollutants, the proposed amendment must contain similar protections that address non-point source pollution entering the lake from streams and the Tallapoosa River in the middle Tallapoosa Basin, specifically protections against nutrient, chemical, organic matter, and pathogen loading into the lake. Without such protections, the Treasured Alabama Lake status of the lake is in peril. Testing of streams that contain significant poultry production and the Tallapoosa River conducted by Lake Watch indicate significant pathogen loading, E. coli, in the middle Tallapoosa Basin above the lake. Genetic source tracking has been planned to positively identify the animal source of the bacterial pathogen load. Number two, given that under the proposed amendment, QCP inspections of CAFOs will be reduced from annually to once every 5 years, the proposed amendment should contain assurances that ADEM inspectors will fill this void.
I apologize for having some audio trouble.
Contain assurances that ADEM inspectors will fill this void. Lake Watch proposes that for specially designated high-quality water bodies, TAL, Outstanding Alabama Water, Outstanding National Resources Water, as well as impaired waters, the proposed amendment should require annual ADEM inspections of CAFOs adjacent to these waters. We believe that the proposed amendment, item 3, we believe the proposed amendment must be progressive in the face of tremendous expansion of CAFOs, particularly CAFOs poultry CAFOs in the state. We believe all poultry CAFOs waste should be required to be composted to mitigate pathogen content before land application. Item 4. We believe the proposed amendment should call for a ban on land application of CAFO waste in the Lake Martin Treasured Alabama watershed to protect the lake from nutrient and pathogen loading. We believe there should be a one-year moratorium, item 5, a one-year moratorium on construction of new poultry production facilities above the lake in Middle Tallapoosa Basin to allow testing and analysis of the impact of poultry production expansion in our, Treasured Alabama Lake. Item 6, we urge ADEM to closely review the text of proposed amendment to close loopholes and to add needed provisions described in the document to protect our world-class waters deemed the epicenter of aquatic biodiversity in North America. Aside, reference there is made to the analysis of text proposed amendment to ADEM. It's confusing to me that this amendment is not more comprehensive, does not include the development of, for instance, a general permit according to the regulations that are set forth. That may be yet to come. I don't know if that's yet to come or if the amendment is supposed to stand all by itself and by itself effect the comprehensive changes that it touches upon. In the process of deregulation, there's an awful lot of other rules that are going to become sort of illogical standing alone, and I believe that's what we're addressing in the proposed tightening up and revision to make the amendment more comprehensive and make it more clear that NPDES status of ADEM ORCM and NPDES rules will continue to apply to a CAFO that registered under this new state registry, and that NRCS mandatory best practices would continue to apply to one in the state registry, and that we wouldn't just have a hiatus when there was no regulations that were applicable to them because of some sort of ambiguity that rendered the whole thing unenforceable. Now, I trust y'all to see that that doesn't happen. And so let me proceed. I was at number 6. I'm now at number 7, which is the last one, I think. We urge ADEM to make more effective public notices, including press releases, and direct specific notice to all interested responsible parties, soliciting effective input from the public, the state and federal regulators, the university community, the conservation and resource services, and farmers, property owners, and industry representatives, and local government and changes to Congress. I listened to the recitation of how public notice was made and even sent out to 2,289 notices was sent out to people who had, entities or whatever, that had requested it. That's so. I don't think that I personally had ever requested it. Maybe I pushed the button sometime, but it's amazing to me that we don't have more participation. That we look at this little room, you know? I'm probably the only one here, and where's NRCS? Are they here? Where are the other people that have a real stake and a real responsibility in this? I don't think, it's dreadful that ADEM is on its own in this regard. And I wish we had more public participation. I don't know what you could do. You could possibly make it more clear, or certainly I feel like the public notices, although I believe they have accomplished the legal minimum, could have been perhaps more effective in order to produce an awareness and a presence and a participation in this weighty process. In closing, Lake Watch urges that ADEM not renounce its existing time-tested regulatory authority in favor of a regulatory scheme which does not currently exist. Thank you for your opportunity to comment on the proposed amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Thank you for your participation in this process.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else who has not had a chance to complete a card and wishes to speak at this time? If you would, let the record reflect that we didn't have any further responses. Okay, the final hearing record will include a transcript of this hearing, all written submissions and exhibits, and a response by the department to each relevant comment received by the hearing officer before 5 o'clock p.m. Wednesday, November 4th, 2020 at the ADEM offices in Montgomery. After consideration of all oral and written comments, ADEM will make a determination regarding possible revisions to the proposed rule and prepare a response to all relevant comments received. When a final decision has been made, ADEM will forward the final draft of the proposed rules as may be revised, the hearing record, and if conflicting views are submitted, a concise statement of the principles, reasons for and against adoption of the proposed rules, and the reasons for overruling any considerations urged against their adoption to the Environmental Management Commission for its consideration and possible adoption. Once complete, this record will be available for public inspection in the Office of the Department of Environmental Management in Montgomery. Thank you for your attendance and participation today. This hearing is now adjourned.